decide whether you look at your reality or you live pretending that those things don't exist. This is what Tori Amos had to say about being aware of your surroundings and the world that you live in. Today, the purpose of this speech is to inform you on sexual assault and rape in our community at ASU and in Tempe. When I'm finished, you'll have a better understanding of the reality of your surroundings and the possibility of danger. Today, I'm going to be using information from the American College Health Association, the Department of Justice, a CBS News story, and information that you guys provided me on my audience analysis. I want to talk about three things today. We're going to define sexual assault and consent. We're going to look at the statistics of assaults reported and the statistics of assaults that are not reported. Let's first take a look at the definition of sexual assault and what is considered rape. To define sexual assault, we're going to start by defining assault. So according to the legal dictionary, assault is a carried out threat of bodily harm and an apparent and present ability to cause said harm. According to the American College Health Association, sexual assault is an attempted or completed non-consensual sexual act. And it doesn't mean just having sex against somebody's will. It could be things including touching, anal, oral, or the obvious vaginal penetration, and threats to do any of the above said things. Consent is an agreement that two parties must agree on for a sexual act to be considered consensual. And legally speaking, both parties have to be conscious, and according to police officials, if you don't verbally say yes, then you've said no. And just because you consent to one form of a sexual act doesn't mean that you consent to another form, and just because you've consented at one point doesn't mean that you can consent in the future. So now let's take a look at the reported crimes just here at ASU. The American College of Health Association put together ASU's A-list, which put together all the information. And just in the last year, 2,508 female students on Tempe campus and 304 male students reported that they were the victim of an attempted or completed sexual assault. Now, out of that, 5,320 female students reported that they were touched against their will sexually in the last year, and over 1,600 male students reported the same thing, that they were touched against their will. And out of the 76,000 students here at ASU, over 1,200 of them reported that they were part of a sexually abusive relationship. According to the Department of Justice, almost 3.5 million sexually violent crimes per year went unreported. And according to my audience analysis, no one in this room has been sexually assaulted, but all but one of you guys have known somebody that has been sexually assaulted. And out of all of those who responded, people who've known somebody who's been assaulted, only one of those people actually reported it to the proper authorities. Now, during the last 4 years, the majority of victims who were assaulted happened on campus, and those victims didn't report it because they didn't believe that it was important enough to do so. 62% of those victims were attacked by somebody they knew, which is another reason why they didn't report it, because they didn't want to hurt somebody's reputations, or they didn't want to get attacked further because there were threats of doing so. So out of all the crimes committed and unreported, rape or sexual assault was the #1 crime that wasn't reported. So people who got broken into or got things stolen from, or any other crimes that happened to them, those were typically, for the majority, always reported. There was a CBS 5 story that I don't know if any of you guys saw that happened last year, but a heavier middle-aged man broke into an apartment of a 19-year-old girl here at ASU, just in an apartment right here on South Terrace. He attempted to rape a 19-year-old girl, and she ended up being able to escape, and when she ran, so did the man, and he was never caught or convicted. But now that we've defined sexual assault and what consent is, and gone over the statistics of victimizations reported versus those that were not, you should